Well, let's see. Now, I can answer that a couple of ways. I can answer that with my Newport Beach accent and say, I'm just fine, thank you. Or I could answer it with my Paso Robles accent, and I would have to say, well, I'm finer than frog hair split twice.
I like Paso Robles. Let's go with that.
You know how you find Oklahoma from Paso Robles? You follow the bologna wrappers all the way back to Oklahoma.
Is that where you live right now?
No.
Oh.
I live in Newport Beach, but I was there for 20 years.
Okay.
I'm very familiar with the Paso Robles culture.
I don't know much about that. I just know I like to go there and drink wine.
Yeah, that's why I left.
Too much wine, huh?
No, it's when I first moved there was no wine. It was all almonds and dryland farming for wheat. And then they found out that the soil and the temperature was really good for grapes, and so my little piece of property that I paid only $800 an acre for went to $25,000 an acre, and I said, thank you very much, I'm out of here.
Wow.
I don't need to talk like this anymore. I can talk like a Californian.
We have an office. My business has an office in Newport Beach.
Oh, whereabouts?
At the airport.
Yeah. I like it there.
I haven't really been there. I haven't even been to the office there.
Let's go to the office.
I know. I keep saying you got to send me down to our Newport Beach office.
What do you guys do down there?
Aviation law.
Ah. Yeah, that's a nice airport. There's a lot going on there for sure.
Yeah, busy place.
Okay, so are you guys the ones that got what's his face from Star Wars off for landing on the runway instead of on the taxiway instead of the runway?
No.
Harrison Ford?
No. We don't do that kind of law.
He should not have gotten away with that.
We do. We help people like represent them in transactions when they're buying and selling.
Buying a nice jet.
Yeah.
Make sure they don't get hosed.
Right.
Got it. So, tell me about your horse.
This is Madison, and I got her from Sarah. She's probably, we think, about 18.
Okay.
I don't
Doesn't
know.
look it.
I don't know a whole lot about her. I do know at one point she was owned by someone who now does dressage in Europe, because I was told that at a show by somebody, and her last owner was using her for eventing.
Ah, okay.
So
Perfect.
Yeah.
And so what level are you currently riding?
I just did beginner novice
Okay,
last
good.
weekend. I also, you should probably know, it's important to know, I did not learn to ride until about 5 years ago.
That's all right, yeah.
So I'm an adult learner. And we took third in beginner novice last week.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So tell me about your dressage test and the scores you got, what the strong points were and what the weak points were.
I always get weak points on bend, like
Not bending enough around your
bending
inside leg,
enough
okay.
around your
And
inside leg, rhythm's not great.
so were your circles the wrong size and all
No,
that?
geometry was good.
Wow, good for you. That's so hard.
Geometry was good, but bend was not good. What else did they comment on? Steadiness.
So, because this is over contact, your
Yeah.
contact can be, that's normal. You'll get over that.
Yeah, so
All right.
contact's a big issue for us right now. Rhythm, just suppleness,
Okay.
for both of us.
All right. Yeah, but you should be proud of yourself for the geometry, because most of my students couldn't make a 20-meter circle if their life depended on it. Make a really good.
So when I was a kid, I was an ice skater, and so what I do with Maddie is I take her some days and we just do figures, So.
That's probably one of the smartest things I tell my students. If you come into an arena when it's like this, where it's a little bit dry and a little bit wet, and walk all of your figures first, and then try to trot them, you'll learn how to make a 20-meter circle. But you follow your own tracks, don't you?
Yeah.
That also keeps your eyes up, so you're looking where you're going, which is a big deal. That's why your geometry is so good. All right, so stop that, because you're making me crazy with the wiggly fingers.
I have really bad hands. I've been told that. I move a lot.
Right, so, you're human, and so, when you can walk in a small circle. The reason we do that, which is normal, is that even though you're new at the sport, you're young at doing it, you still develop an opinion about what you think looks good, right? Like, you know what looks good.
I guess.
And so when we get that opinion, it's about them being round in their neck, right? So we tend to, as riders, attempt to get them to be really round, but we haven't really connected that to their back end yet. So we tend to solve the problem, or goal of roundness by wiggling our fingers and making the horse give to the pressure of the bit, which is exactly what you don't want to do.
Okay.
But that's normal. So what you have to do is you have to just admit to yourself, right, that you like it when it's round, you like it when it feels soft, but it may not be to your best interest, right? And that way, when you make the mistake of wiggling your fingers, you can hopefully kind of stop yourself and come up with another solution. So, bring in somebody from work. Thanks. Always flying around chasing me. My dad was an airline pilot for many years and then flight instructor after that for American, so I'm very familiar with planes.
That's my whole family too. We're all pilots and aviators.
Yeah. My dad, I soloed at 16, and my dad after he got my instrument rating and did all the things I was supposed to do like a good son, and then he finally told me, you really shouldn't fly.
Really? Why? What was his?
I'm not very analytical.
Oh, you're not detail-oriented?
Yeah, and so he, being that he did a lot of instruction after he retired, he did I think about another 5 or 7 years down in Dallas-Fort Worth. He was based in Los Angeles, but then he moved to Dallas-Fort Worth to work there at the training center, teaching people to fly 747s. And then
My brother flies for American.
yeah, there you go. It's a good company. It was a good company. I'm not sure now, but it was then. Anyway, my dad came out of the old era, He flew the Ford Tri-Motor, did DC-3s, came all the way up from the very beginning. High school graduate, never went to college. Flew in World War II, flew in Korea, flew in Vietnam for the military airlift command for MAC. So he had a lot of mileage, but he was a character for sure. Anyway, what we're going to do is kind of work on this idea that the roundness that you seek, that feeling that you want, comes from her hind legs and not from her mouth, right?
Okay.
And hopefully that's going to help you to have, initially a little bit more willingness to accept the idea that you don't have to fix her mouth all the time.
Okay.
Right? So I will guarantee you that you will have her where you want her to be.
Okay.
I will also guarantee you it's going to take you a little bit longer than what you want. All right, but you will get there. So let me see you go to the rising trot on a nice circle at this end of the arena.
You want a bigger circle or how big?
Slightly bigger, yeah. This is about 15 to 18, so expand it out to 20. So, what is your first goal?
Energy.
Good. So forward movement always comes first. So is she forward?
Not really.
Okay, so can you fix that for me? Without worrying about her mouth? There, that's forward. Now correct your diagonal. After forward movement, what comes next?
Suppleness? Is it suppleness?
Yeah, close. Now there's a German training scale which sort of lines up all the things that we have to get a horse going. But there's another sequence that's older than the German training scale called the Circle of Aids. So it looks like a clock. So you can imagine 12, 3, 6, 9, then back to 12. So the first thing is forward movement.
Okay.
The second thing is quality of contact. So the contact should be elastic and even on both reins. So is she going forward? Fix it. It's not forward yet. All right, that's fair. Good job. Nothing wrong with that. Now, one thing you have been doing really good so far is keeping your eyes up on where you're going. So let's keep that as a goal. I love your outside leg position. Okay, so now she's forward. The contact needs to be even and resilient, even and elastic. There we go. That's the first two. Third is bend. So would you say that right now she's bent appropriately for the shape that you're on? I think she actually looks pretty good.
You like it?
Yeah, I do. So is she forward?
No.
Establish forward. Come on, I'm waiting.
You want more?
Oh yeah, right there. That's forward.
Okay.
Now, you should have also noticed a slight change in the quality of contact when you achieve that level of forward. It should have been lighter. There, that's good. So now you've got forward, you've got contact, you've got bend. Fourth is you need to be able to allow the neck to stretch a little bit. There we go. Very nice. And fifth, give me a walk transition. And that is fifth. Okay, so fifth is engage. So it's forward, contact, bend, stretch, engage. The fifth thing can be done in the following ways. Adding forward, doing a transition up or down, doing a lateral movement, or a half halt. All those things have the potential to give me more engagement. So it's forward, contact, bend, stretch, engage. So it could be forward, contact, bend, stretch, forward. It could be forward, contact, bend, stretch, leg yield. It could be forward, contact, bend, stretch, canter. It could be forward, contact, bend, stretch, walk. It could be forward, contact, bend, stretch, half halt. Does that make sense? So we just keep recycling those same things over and over and over and over again. Knowing full well that any time you change something, one of those other 3 or 4 things is going to try to go away. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Good. Change direction through the circle, and let me see you work through that on your own. Forward, contact, bend, stretch, and you're going to show me you feel you've achieved your level of balance of the first 4, forward, contact, bend, stretch, by doing a canter transition.
Can you do this for a second?
Want this at the rising trot?
Sure.
I do.
We just kind of move it towards the back.
Okay.
And then...
No, I'm fine.
I like your forward. Okay, now your bend is good. Contact was actually pretty good the entire time. Remember that we have to get, yeah, okay. Not a bad transition. I didn't feel enough of a stretch before you asked for it. So bring her back to the trot. Let me see it again. Forward a little more. Contact is already pretty good. Now let me see that bend slightly increase. A little more. This is their stiffer side. A little more bend than that. Now start to ask her to stretch a little lower by allowing with your elbows. There, and now the canter. Very good. And a little more energy in our canter. Nice. And prepare for a trot transition. And when you're ready, the trot. Very good. Excellent work. So that's our basics right there. Now let's see if we can take that same idea and do some bend changes to have to get her a little more supple, make her easier to control as far as her suppleness. Let's start with a serpentine of 3 loops. I want you to really think about maintaining your forward, your contact, asking her to keep bending around your inside leg. Nice diagonal change. So I like the fact she tried to canter because that tells me you put your outside leg back. That was good. Again, come all the way back with the same thing. Nice forward movement. Oh yeah. Okay, well done. And when you're ready, back to the water. Okay, so there's a couple of directions we can go here. So we have two needs that we have to fulfill before we go on to our, whatever steps are going to come next. One is we have to make our bend changes more proficient. And without losing forward movement, we have to have that. We have a couple of options to do that. We can do some lateral work, which is going to get her more responsive to your inside leg. So leg yield in particular is a movement designed to help her to step under with her inside hind leg a little bit more. And the benefit of stepping under like that is the simple act of you pushing that inside hind leg under gets her inside rib cage to bend a little bit more. And that allows you to have more what you have right here, which is a better curve in her body. So leg yield is a really important tool for that. So let's go ahead and change direction. Now I've got a number of options as far as how I have you do this. We're going to go with a more complicated one, right? So you're going to go to the wall, walk down the wall. I want you to counter flex her to the right, so to the outside, and with your right leg yield her haunches left. Very good. Oh, what a good job. Good. Now get your reins a little shorter so your arms are in front of you. I like that. And now straighten to the line of the shoulders. Bring your haunches back to the wall. Change the bend to your left. Pick up your trot and do the same thing on the next long side. Carry your left bend through your short side. Good. If you'd like to stay sitting now, you can. And now leg yield the haunches away from the wall with your right leg. Counter flex and leg yield. Counter flex and leg yield her haunches to your left. Good job. And straighten. So be looking for that moment. Go forward now. Go back to your correct bend. Look for that moment where as you leg yield her over, she begins to stretch down.
Okay.
Yep.
Second one.
That's why they have 4 of them. And next long side again. So we didn't get a great response out of that. We're going to try again. Again, when you're on the short side, come back to your correct bend. Nice forward change. There you go. There you go. Good. And soften your elbows. There you go. Nice work. Okay, so what did you add to that little mix that made that work better?
Your right leg.
Okay, well you had a pretty good angle here too. So I don't think you failed here because of your angle. So you must have added something else. Go through your list.
Forward.
Forward. You added more forward. You did it when you went to the rising trot and you asked her for more forward. So the reason why this little sequence is so important, forward contact, bend, stretch, engage, is when something goes wrong and you're unsure why you've not accomplished your goal, you just go back through your things and you're a smart lady, you'll figure it out. You're like, well, what was missing? Now you have to have help, obviously, because you thought at first, that would have been my first guess too, but you know, because that's what I told you. I told you that when the inside hind leg comes under far enough, she'd get round. So your expectation should have been that the angle would have been the answer. However, in this case, it wasn't. You fixed the problem, not me, but you with the forward trot over there. That made all the difference. So let's go the other way. So track to your right. And you're usually smartest to add the forward movement before you add the lateral movement.
You're doing the trot, right?
In the trot, yes ma'am. Okay, so I loved everything about that, but somehow it wasn't consistent. Let's figure out what's missing to make it more consistent. It might just be that. There it is. There it is. Very nice. So I rest my case. All right. So that trot, I didn't see that. Trot.
Sorry, I got so excited there I kind of lost track of what I was doing.
I don't believe you for a second. Okay, so let me see that forward movement on a circle down here. As you bend her around that inside leg a little better. There you go. Thank you. Beautiful. Now, with your leg on, show me your walk transition. Okay. So do you feel, as I do, that when she knows you're going to do that trot, that she starts losing power? That's pretty clever of her, but we have a way out of that. So, as you know, you can leg yield on any line, correct? Leg yield on the long side, you can diagonally, like quarter line to the wall, wall to the quarter line or center line. You can also do it on a circle. So we're going to leg yield her haunches to the outside of the circle into the walk. Now when you do this, you're going to be leg yielding at the trot by pushing, let me see it at the walk once, and you see you push your butt only to the outside. Your forehand is on your darker tracks, and your haunches into your tracks at the end, just like that. That's what you're going to do as you're in the trot, and you're going to maintain that angle into the walk. Now, what she is going to do is she's going to know exactly what we're up to, and she's going to say, well, if you say that, I won't walk. All right, so you're going to have to, don't diminish your leg. Use your outside rein more effectively and squeeze your thighs together. Yes, lovely. Now start to leg yield the haunches to the outside. When you feel you've achieved that, keep her going forward. Keep her going forward. Come on. There we go. Come on. There. Now, plan your walk and increase the angle. Nice. You did it. Good job. You felt that little moment where you tried to negotiate, didn't you?
Yes. She's a good negotiator. Daddy.
The famous 3-day event rider, Captain James T. Kirk, one time said, never negotiate with lower life forms. You didn't know that, did you? You're the leader.
I'm not sure who he's talking to. That was who he's talking about.
James T. Kirk?
No, I know who you're talking about. When he says lower life form, he's referring to the horse, I guess.
Yes, yeah, no kidding. I hope you realize it's a lower life form.
I don't know. Some of the people I hang around with make me wonder.
Well, there you go.
Not you, Jess.
Thanks a lot, Cheryl.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I understand what you're saying. Okay, so let's move on. Have we done shoulder in with this horse yet?
Shoulder in. Not to any level of proficiency. I mean, we've tried them. That's it.
That's all right. So, what would you say would be the primary difference between leg yield and shoulder in? All right, fair enough. let's go one one step further and say it's how you create the position. So in leg yield, which end of the horse are you moving? And in shoulder in? That's the difference. The shoulder, yeah. But funny as it seems, that's a concept that some people miss. So the point of leg yield is to get the horse to yield. Once the horse is yielded, then we go right into shoulder inward.
Okay.
It does not require yielding. The horse is pre-yielded in the leg yield work.
Okay.
However, once you begin the movement, the horse is going to go, wait a minute, that's way more work than this leg yield thing, so I'm going to fall in. And you have to kind of go back to some leg yield work and reinforce not falling in on the inside leg. Okay, so, going to change direction. I'm going to come back over here. Now I like to do this a little bit off the wall. I don't like to be on the wall because horses get kind of glued on the wall. So do it about 2 or 3 meters to the inside, not very far. 9 feet, give or take a little bit. Kind of where the circle is. Good energy at the walk. You're going to pretend you're starting a circle and give me a little shoulder in down this long side. So start the shoulders turning. Exactly. Good. That was very well done. Very well done. And now straighten by bringing the shoulders back to the haunches. All the way. All the way. And then you're going to come down the center line from the far end, do exactly the same thing again. Now, at the walk, it's okay for you to have that much angle, but that would have been way too much at the trot. All right, so try the same thing on the center line with less angle. Shoulder in at the walk, but less angle. That's plenty right there. Now try to just relax your inside arm a little bit. There you go. We don't want to let ourselves start pulling on our inside rein. And then straighten. Lovely. Straighten and trot. Sitting. Trot, sitting. Go rising. Get your forward movement. One large circle to get that forward. Come on. And there we go. And when you're ready, sit. And on this long side, show me a little shoulder in left.
Yikes. Okay, we're going to do this.
You can do this. Not bad at all. And a 10-meter circle and shoulder it again. Now I kind of like that. Now my trainer taught me something that was very important. She said for every step down the long side, move the horse slightly to the inside of the arena by 1 inch. So move 1 inch left for every step left. Yeah, that's a little too much, but that's the idea. On the next long side, the same thing, but 1 inch is not very far. By the end of the arena, it would only be about 12 inches. Forward movement. 10-meter circle because your bend is weak, and on that 10-meter circle, add a leg yield step or two and get her off that left leg. There. Now, straight on the circle into the shoulder in. Yep. And 10-meter circle. It's lovely. Not quite so much angle. Keep it forward. Thank you. Keep it bent. Circle again. You've lost your bend. Use a few leg yield steps. I like the way you gave yourself permission to rising trot. Sit. Yes. Right there. No more than that. Now let that neck stretch a little bit. Allow. There. Allow. Yes. Very good. Very good. And walk. Now, I want you to notice something significant about the moment that you allow. If change direction while we're noticing. as you are in a very nice angle and correctly doing it without the haunches going to the outside,